right, welcome back to the Atlantic Coast Showcase, NC State versus University of Virginia. We now have Jägermonster from NC State playing Hydra from Virginia. We might not have video up right now, but we will get that going in a second. NC State started out with a zone and forced a huck. Block was able to be made by NC State's deep, and Ashley Powell is going to pick up for the Wolf for Jägermonster.
NC State D-line coming out. D-line offense showing a vertical stack. Long vertical cut from Jäger to Rowan James. Emma Bartlett in the reset space can't hang on. Throw goes a little long. Emma Bartlett on the mark.
That's the offense you're going to expect to see from Jäger. They do a good job of creating space on the open side, and they dump and swing very effectively. You guys going the other way now.
All right, Matt, you got.
And the catch made for the goal. Pending a call, perhaps? No, the observers confirmed it is a goal.
I don't have anything. I got nothing.
Well, just put it back up.
I can try restarting. That'll close down the stream if I restart it. FYI.
No.
NC State O-line coming out.
Just hang on for a second. You should have.
Ashley Powell walking up to the line. NC State's Callahan nominee.
So you get going, yeah.
The only one I have is that other camera, but it's frozen. So I have a shot of that up. It's better than that.
MC Worthington at the end of the line. Bree Campbell.
Now we got it.
Alex Robbins.
All right, and what's the score now?
Becky Woodmeyer.
1-0 UVA.
Somebody.
1-0 UVA.
Charity Robinette.
Yeah, we got video now, guys.
We're back up with video.
On the silver. Number 7. NC State O-line. Wind picking back up a little bit.
There we go.
Alex Robbins. And she
Climbs over everybody. Makes a
All
huge
right.
play in the end zone.
Oops.
Defenders able to box out and go over the top of that ability disc. She's a former basketball player. She showed right there with two hands, like she's done over rebounds. Able to
Boom.
box out.
All right, let's do it.
I think that's a pretty typical play from NC State's offensive line. They're going to center to Ashley Powell. They're going to look for Campbell to make initiating cuts.
She is definitely going to be looking to throw this to the end zone for Alex Robbins or Carmen Torney. The number of dangerous athletic receivers from Jägermonster's offense. And
All right, try to keep the camera
like
lower. Definitely keep it away from the legs there. Yeah, because especially with that filter off, we're going to get a lot. So I would even lower than that. Maybe zoom in a little bit.
At once.
Try to get as much of that out as possible.
Showcase NC State versus University of Virginia, Jägermonster versus Hydra. We are sponsored by Discraft, the worldwide leader in disc sports,
Providing the official game disc for the Atlantic Coast Showcase. Daniel Sawyer on the pull for NC State. They'll have their second opportunity to get a break against Hydra.
Jäger showing a little bit of a junk look, just trying to gum things up for this Hydra offense. Looking pretty effective so far. Reset throw sails a little far. Emma Bartlett will pick up for NC State. Bree Campbell will be her reset. They'll look to reset. No, they'll look upfield. Sails a little high.
Good help defense off of the stack to tip that disc. Rowan James was coming to clean up that overthrown disc, but defender was able to make the play before she got there. UVA back to
NC State showing more of a traditional person defense, abandoning the junk look. High stall count. No reset options. Finds one in the break space. Looking deep. No options.
That's a good look.
Big called by NC State.
It was called by Sherry Robinett. And this disc is going to come back, it looks like. Emma Bartlett will mark.
So far, Panther defenders giving UVA Hydra a little bit of trouble as we see Brady Campbell
Running to the end zone. No one fast enough to pick up. Puts it back under. A little bit of a poach from Hydra. Bree Campbell hangs on. Huge under from Yega to Rowan Janes. Backup line to Emma Bartlett.
Nice catch with the left hand.
Swings around to Bree Campbell. Lots of options downfield. Danielle Sawyer to Rowan Janes. And that is a break for Yega.
And that is just textbook dump, swing, score offense near the end zone for Yega. Like I said, their defensive line is much more
Danielle
methodical.
Sawyer to Rowan Janes.
Their offensive line tends to be a little bit more
and that is a break for.
But you see Bartlett is going to do a lot of work catching those uplines and throwing nice around breaks as you saw her do. Campbell, easy swing to Danielle Sawyer, and Charity Robinett was threatening to be that continue for the goal. Marker had to adjust, and that left the inside lane for Danielle Sawyer to throw that inside flick to Rowan Janes coming off the back of the stack.
Jaeger crossing over one of their Phoenix players in Becky Ellis or Becky Woodmeyer. I think she just changed her name today, so I think it's Becky Woodmeyer. She crosses over to the D-line for Yega, looking to add a little more handling presence for them as she does for their O-line. Yega largely keeping the same D-line out here, just flip-flopping a couple people out of the rotation to keep everybody fresh. Danielle Sawyer with the pull.
And Coach Eric Martin said before the game, they've got a few injuries. Alice Widman is out with an ankle injury. Lisa Keller's out with a knee injury. And I believe Jackie Housel is out with a concussion. So they're going to need to cross a couple players over from their offensive line. In the game against Duke in the first Atlantic Coast Showcase, they weren't really able to cross, or they chose not to cross over offensive players onto the D-line, preferring instead to get those D-line players the reps and experience.
Hydra in trouble there. They'll be in trouble the rest of this game if they can't cycle back resets or dump resets for them. Moving it up the field and stalling out again. A nice grab from 24.
Phoebe Merrick with the catch there.
NC State, Yega transitioning to a person defense.
Number 5 not listed on our roster, but she had a very nice throw for the goal on the first point of the game. And a good catch made on the upline. Throws a little bit behind.
Becky Woodmeyer giving chase and will pick up the disc on this errant throw that sailed a little too far for number 5 on Hydra.
Yeah, that was a good looking throw and the receiver had separation just a bit too far. Soft inside break to Sawyer. She launches a little too early. Melissa Gronsky not going to be able to catch that disc, but it will force UVA to work the full 70.
Probably not their initial strategy here to turn the disc over. And another Hydra turn backed up against their own end zone will give Yega a red zone possession. Rowan Janes cutting all the way across the back of the stack. Pretty open, but just a difficult marking angle. Emma Bartlett commanding the disc around.
This is going to be Emma Bartlett's possession right here. Oh, just out of the reach. Mary Clark Worthington couldn't haul it in. Bartlett is one of those players who's very dangerous around the end zone. You saw her move her mark with a couple of really good fakes, threw the under to Robinett, attacked up line and got the disc back, and she's very dangerous with that inside out flick. As the huck from UVA doesn't make it far enough. NC State to possess again. Sawyer picks up.
And you'll see again Rowan Janes there. Just massive undercuts for Jaega. Kat catches one.
Kat Nansalo with the catch.
Becky Widmeyer commanding the disc. Trying to inch them closer to the red zone. Very patient. Sawyer looks off Nansalo. High stall count now. Finds Bartlett. Hangs on. Bartlett looking to swing early. Finds the inside to Becky Widmeyer. Inside, sailing high. Rowan Janes again. Rowan Janes back-to-back goals for Jaega. Puts them up 3-1.
That throw was originally intended for Charity Robinett. Came out a little late and ended up going behind her, but sailed over her defender's head, and good heads-up play by Rowan Janes there to make the catch.
Thanks for sticking with us through this broadcast. I'd like to remind everyone that sailing high. Rowan Janes again. Providing nice warm pancakes on this night that's cooling down. Another one of our sponsors is UP Universe Points Cleats. We'll be providing a pair of cleats to our player that performs the best play of the evening across both games. Had several big plays in our men's game.
We didn't mention it when it happened, but an early candidate from this game.
Yeah, it's there now. I just have to click with the mouse rather than with the controller. Yeah.
The exact right moment to go up between and make the catch for the goal.
And like you said, that basketball background really showing through. Eyes on the disc the whole time, going up strong, locking it down, making it look easy.
Two nominees from our men's game. That was Archer Gordon's block in the end zone that helped defense to go over the offender, and Henry Poe's lengthy layout grab in the end zone for the goal. Medial line throw from wrist grab. Two men's nominees.
Rowan Janes. Speedy
No,
trying to get a block. Just unfortunately right into the hands of her.
Three Phoenix women crossing over to the steal line. All adding some fire.
Jerry, get around! Hey, no jump!
UVA finds the reset.
No jump, Rowan!
Mark
No jump!
trying to contain the break. He goes around. Kat trying to contain. Goes around. Offense stalls momentarily. Backup field for UVA.
Move right! Move right!
In there.
Alex
Robbins
no jump, Alex, move right! No jump!
Tries to throw the up line, but Rowan Janes with the nose for the disc.
Rowan
Knocks that disc
Janes.
to the ground.
Rowan Janes just on fire. Alex Robbins, nice isolation. Her matchups are going to be worried about her going deep all game, so she's just going to be wide open under. Looking for a reset. Gets it. All open. Nice break throw up the middle. Charity Robinett.
Look at Ashley!
Ashley Powell coming back again.
That's fine, no round!
State's Callahan nominee.
Hey, move it!
Facing some very tight pressure.
It looks pretty similar on yours. Mine is kind of
Nash is
either
able to
a
get
little
off
bit.
the line.
Upfield, Dallas Robbins.
Nice around throw from Rowan. Got it over the top of the defender. Alex Robbins had plenty of space in the end zone to bring it down.
Alex Robbins, one of the players for Phoenix this past summer, on the O-line normally for NC State. Jaega wants to. She's the one grind for matchups. Nothing to worry about all day. By the time they get to the red zone, like we just saw, making it easy on the fellow coaches. Dallas Robbins.
That was a Alex Robbins.
Okay, this timer and that music needs to go away.
Music.
This will result in miles of space to make an easy catch. Rowan delivered the throw, and that makes it 4-1 NC State.
NC State Jaeger very much in control out of these first 5 points, up 4-1 on UVA Hydra. Hydra taking a timeout here to collect themselves. NC State putting on a lot of pressure, being able to flip on fresh members of their O-line to get them some reps. Covering pulls very well. Rowan James is having an excellent game so far for Jaeger. We'll look for her to continue to do the same throughout the rest of this game.
So we talked a little bit last game about how NC State needed to keep in mind the margin of victory as that game drew to a close against Night Train due to the position in the rankings and NC State fighting for a bid. And actually the exact same is true in this game. Jägermonster is one of the last teams out in the current bid picture. I think they're ranked 20th, but due to the auto bids being pulled by there's 3 regions that don't have a women's team in the top 20. I believe it's the Southeast, Great Lakes, and Metro East. Don't have a team in the top 20, so there's only the 17 top teams in the rankings will earn a spot. So Jaeger, between the rest of the Atlantic Coast Showcase games and I believe their last tournament will be College Easterns over Easter weekend, they are going to need to put up some big wins against some pretty good quality teams to be able to get that upward movement in the rankings to try and secure an extra bid for their region.
And the coaching strategy here coming through to reflect just that. As we have a little bit of a miscue from NC State's D-line. I believe they were offsides. They'll have to re-pull. But we see here they cross over 3 of their ladies who play on their O-line normally. Bree Campbell, Becky Widmeyer, Carmen Tormey. Just really keeping their defensive lines, keeping them really fresh. They'll hope to keep this pressure, especially now with Hydra going into a little bit of an upwind. They'll look to pin them back and rely on their legs and defensive pressure to get an easy score again here. Nice pull by Danielle Sawyer. Fielded by number 15. NC State letting off a little bit of a break. Back to the middle of the field.
UVA's style of offense seems to be very much about clearing space in the center of the field and attacking with cuts from the sideline to the center of the field. Disc stalls out a little bit, but they find another underneath.
NC State handler reset pressure has been great so far. They just really need to continue their pressure downfield and push their matchups out.
That throw into the wind sailed a little bit over the receiver's head. She tried to make the catch over top. Becky Widmeyer the dump.
Bree Campbell. Nice inside throw. Anna Sahlberg also on NC State's offensive line. Dumps it to Bree Campbell, who throws an upfield turn.
Not enough space on the inside lane there on that throw to MC Worthington. So UVA will get the disc at about half field.
NC State this time, great pressure downfield. Make it very difficult. And just like we said, Emma Bartlett tight on the reset trying to go up line, and she bobbles it.
That was a late stall count throw that came off a little bit low.
Anna
NC
Sahlberg
State already creating that large space for their downfielders to cut into. And really nice D there on that dump.
Anna
Knocked
Sahlberg,
it out with Bree's hands.
great downfield cut, gets a lot of space, just puts the dump throw to Bree Campbell in a little bit of a tight window. Bree Campbell's receiver bobbles it out of bounds. Looks like Sawyer would pick up. Bree Campbell in the reset space.
So a bit of a long point developing here. Expect to see Yega
Continue to work through their
handlers. They've got very skilled handlers, but UVA is actually playing very good reset defense. Not making it easy for that primary dump. That time it's the secondary, Becky Ellis.
Huge under from Emma Bartlett, who then throws it deep for Bree Campbell. Her matchup taking her eyes off the disc, and Anna Solberg finishes it off. Little O-line progression there in the end zone. Wraps it up. 5-1 for Yega.
That was a great read by Bree Campbell. The throw from Emma Bartlett came off a little bit short, but the defender didn't realize Ellis until Bree had the chance to plant and come back under and cut right past the defender who wasn't able to see the disc. And then a nice flip to Anna Solberg. Her defender wasn't looking. Bree was able to pop a nice high release backhand out into space for the easy rundown catch.
NC State taking a timeout here. Maybe looking to make a few adjustments. Put a little more pressure on the downfield cutters. Eric Martin, the coach for NC State Jägermonster. David Allison, the coach for UVA Hydra. So one of the co-coaches for North Carolina's Ring of Fire.
He does live in Raleigh, and I believe he's taken a step back from coaching the UVA women's program. I'm sure he's still in contact with a lot of their players, having coached them as recently as last year. But I think has stepped into more of a coaching role with UNC Darkside this year.
I would keep blasting everyone. Let them know they need it.
NC State able to grind out this nice long point. A lot of coaches will encourage their defensive units by reminding them of the strain they put on offensive lines. Yega really showcasing that pressure and strain that they're putting on this Hydra offense, and we'll see how Hydra responds out of this timeout. But so far, Yega in control, putting on great pressure in the reset space, adjusting a little bit, hopefully even a little more to pressure downfield, and just force more errant throws and let their ladies go to work in the red zone.
Yega D-line will be pulling up wind. As usual, they're crossing over from their O-line. It appears only Alex Robbins from the O-line will be on this defensive line. Also, Katnin Salo, Rowan Janes, Emma Bartlett, Daniel Sawyer, Jen Bradley, and Charity Robinette rounding out this defensive line. See if they can get a break-up wind.
Emma Bartlett and Rowan Janes leading the charge, hoping to cover this pull. Hydra handler. Rowan Janes there immediately. Bartlett, tight defense. Alex Robbins' defense downfield, unworried about power position for Hydra, lofts a high flick back towards the middle of the field. NC State player falls down, but it sails over the pack.
Two defenders coming in, so the primary receiver really had to respect that she wasn't going to have a lot of space behind her. And ended up
a nice undercut, dishing back to Emma Bartlett.
Picked right out of the path of the defender.
Alex Robbins with a nice under. Moves her mark away. Much smaller matchup. Emma Bartlett catches the dish from Alex. Upfield to Jen Bradley, her defender again, putting on great pressure.
Jen Bradley's had a couple of those close contested catches on long unders.
Looks like Alex is behind. Oh. Laura Baird putting on that great pressure downfield.
It was a good cut from Robin. It got open a lot of yards, but she wasn't able to catch it.
Julia Harris with the disc, looking for a reset, cannot find one. Alex Robbins giving chase. Wide flat mark.
And a miscommunication.
Hey, watch that travel. She stopped the first one, right? That's okay. Just pump and move it.
Number 29, who's not listed on our roster, wanted to throw the flick. Alex Robbins jumped in front. She tried to throw the backhand, but her receiver didn't think the throw was coming and had already stopped.
NC State's bird stack a little deep. They find Charity Robinette anyway. Continuation looking. Dish back to Emma Bartlett.
They're a little bit deep with their vertical stack, but I think they do this deliberately a lot of the time. And it's so they can have cuts
Nice
like
big
this.
unders.
You see Rowan at the back. If she comes in, she's going to have a lot of space.
Bartlett with a big fake.
And Mansalo again, another cut. Does well to body out the defender, make the catch.
Montello, great angle to the cut, great timing, and a nice dish back to the middle of the field, but Emma Bartlett can't hang on. Throw lofted up to an already winded Emma Bartlett, who takes that one straight to the chest.
Coach David Allison was exhorting his handler to pick it up and huck it to the open receiver, but Bartlett got into the lane and canceled that throw. Rowan now with the disc stuck on the sideline. Bartlett had slipped.
Bartlett appearing to be playing through a little bit of pain. Danielle Sawyer's throw comes straight to the defender. Rowan James sprinting back to the mark. Hydra with the turnover. Bartlett with the disc to Alex Robbins.
Throw was a little bit behind her, and the defender able to get the hand in there before she could catch it.
This will be a great matchup between Yeaga and number 1 Laura Baird versus Alex Robbins, number 12 for Yeaga. Trying to cut deep on Robbins, creating space.
Interestingly, this is the same sort of split stack look that we saw from NC State. Two players out in the lane, everyone else on the far side of the field, creating lots of space for those first two cutters to work.
A little uncomfortable moment there for Hydra, but they're able to get it around right where they want it to Julia Harris. Julia Harris still with the disc. Charity Robinette putting on great pressure. 27, Lindy Turvinen.
There was a call. A contested stall was the call, and Emma Bartlett will check the disc in and say stall. Easy throw to the front of the stack to alleviate the pressure.
Rowan James putting the pressure on.
Bartlett, force it outfield, Bartlett!
Nice catch made.
Gonzalo.
Number 6, Gianna Torrey, in some traffic.
Float up another throw, this time caught. High flick blade. And UVA able to end this nightmare of a point. NC State able to reach to their depth. Going back to their standard O-line, I think crossing over 1 due to some injury. NC State Yeaga O-line coming out, Alex Robbins. Becky Widmere. Bree Campbell, Carmen Tormey, Anna Solberg, Ashley Powell, and MC. MC Worthington rounds out the group there. Again, that wind is kicking back up a little bit from earlier.
We have more volunteers to serve.
We don't have a name for number 29. She's not listed on our roster. We'll try to get that name for you.
David, who's 29?
Blaze Sevier. Okay, that's number 29. As we see a miscommunication, Bree Campbell broke off her deep cut, and Ashley Powell tried to throw it anyway. So UVA will have the full 70 to work into a light breeze. The wind has really died down since the men's game.
Alex Robbins putting on pressure. He's so big at 6 foot, but NC State gives it right back.
Becky Widmeyer tried to fast break it to Anna Sahlberg, but the defender read it well and undercut that route. There's a foul called by the offense, and it's away from the play. I believe the foul was called against Bree Campbell on the far side of the field, perhaps.
Which means
this does stop.
NC State putting on good pressure. Julie Harris makes a great move up line, but the throw is just too low for her. Ashley Powell picks up to Alex Robbins.
UVA's had just a couple of miscues where they're trying to throw up line, and the throws are just not coming out at chest height, and is forcing their receivers to make really tough catches to do so. As we see another run through D there by UVA.
Bree Campbell with a few vicious fakes there, trying to direct traffic. Doesn't quite see what she wants, and Hydra gets the tee up on an under. UVA able to throw a couple breaks around. Ashley Powell on the mark for NC State. Alex Robbins gives chase. Nice flat mark. Power position here for Hydra. Nothing comes of it.
Out of the way, Aaron.
Offense stalls a little for Hydra. Anna Solberg covering the up line well. They get an inside break and now one around. Ashley Powell flashes flat.
This is where UVA is gonna shine with the disc just a little bit off center and a lot of space in the middle of the field to throw to. They love getting their cutters in isolation in that space.
Yeah, I mean,
Bree Campbell putting on great pressure, almost gets a hand on that reset. So they give it back up line.
UVA to the goal line now, and they convert the upwind break. Nice possession. We haven't really seen UVA be able to string together those multi-throw possessions, but that time they were able to. Got the disc from sideline to sideline, able to work the resets. And in the end, a couple of upline cuts to the force side. They break back and it's 5-3. You get to the goal line now, and they convert the...
Next week, NC State men's and women's team will be back in action with another showcase game. Be against UNC's Dark Side men's team and the Pleiades women's team. Be right here, same time, same place.
And a big thanks to all the sponsors who make the Atlantic Showcase possible. We've got Discraft, we've got IHOP this week, and we had Ruckus Pizza at the Duke Showcase. And Savage Ultimate as well as providing these jerseys. You can see NC State's both men and women's team were provided these jerseys specifically for the Atlantic Showcase game. So huge of Savage Ultimate to provide that. Short pull.
Short pull, as I think they were running out of time to make that pull.
Force her out, baby! Baby! Move it!
Bree Campbell looking a little hampered by what appears to be a knee brace, maybe a small knee injury. We're looking for her to begin their isolation work. Becky Woodmere almost with a hand, almost with the block. Pick call downfield. This will go back.
It's Carmen Tormey guarding Blaise Sevier downfield. That's a good matchup for speed.
High reset throw around. Back to the middle of the field. Points to where she wants it. Oh, and a wide open Hydra receiver can't hold on.
Got a nice cheering section here for UVA Hydra. A lot of the men's players that just finished their game are staying around and are on the sidelines supporting their UVA teammates.
Bree Campbell getting the reset, getting them out of trouble and out of their own end zone. Back to Ashley Powell, out to space. Big fake, looking for the under. It's popped up a little. Anna Solberg holds on. All smiles from Anna Solberg. She barely managed to hang on to that.
This Ashley Powell versus Phoebe Merrick matchup in the handler space is really one to watch as Phoebe Merrick wins that battle. Ashley Powell is having to work for everything.
Interesting end zone set for Hydra. Holds on under pressure. Dish to the break side and around. Will bank too high. Alex Robbins giving chase just to make sure, and it hits the ground.
Out of reach of Haley Herman. She was in the right spot and she was open. The throw had to go around the mark and it ended up lifting up over her head. NC State's offense is lagging a little bit here. You wonder if a couple of long points in a row is starting to gas them, but they're able to get a couple of cuts strung together. Alex Robbins from Campbell.
Nice inside break up to Powell. Looking for the huck.
She's going to send it for Carmen Tormey, who's bodying out and takes a bit too much of an aggressive angle on that one. She looked like she was trying to body out and then fade away from the disc to make the catch, but ended up trying to go up over her defender as well. Coach Eric Martin telling his team exactly what he wants from them. Wow, almost on the second effort was Blaise Sevier. Carmen Tormey got a hand in there, forced Blaise to make a tough catch, and she almost made a second effort catch.
NC State receivers struggling a little bit as the throw goes from Ashley Powell to nobody downfield.
Miscommunication. I think she thought that Mary Clark Worthington was going to be in that space.
Inside! Closer, NC! Push her upfield, NC!
And a nice throw, mid-range huck, goes to Haley Herman, and she hauls it in stride for the goal. 2 breaks back-to-back for UVA, and they trail now 5-4.
As the throw goes from Ashley Powell to nobody downfield.
Miscommunication. I think she thought that Mary Clark Worthington was going to be in that space. So UVA able to complete the upwind, downwind break pair, and they'll be pulling upwind now. Low pull, and a similar line to what we saw. Becky Ellis struck deep, had some space, and turns it into about a 30-yard gainer underneath. But not a great continue.
The pace of this NC State offense right now, much better than it was. Ashley Powell commanding the disc. Open options upfield. Carmen Tormey. Back to Ashley Powell. Hangs on to Bree Campbell, and she'll score one. Nice possession there. Great pace from the NC State Jägermonster.
And I don't know if
Field.
UVA Hydra is forcing backhand or if they're forcing middle, but when they came to this near sideline, Becky Ellis was being forced back to the middle of the field, was not able to throw an upfield continue. And that really stifled the Jaega offense for a second there.
Campbell, and she'll score one. Nice position.
So NC State stops the run from from Hydra, and Jaega will be pulling with a 6-4 lead. They crossed over Rowan James to the D-line to the O-line that point. She'll stay on for defense, as well as Becky Widmer. Charity Robinette, Danielle Sawyer, Emma Bartlett, Katnin Sallow, and Melissa Gronsky round out the line.
Cat, coming into the middle, Cat. Hey, it's fine. Hey, back up, Cat. You're fine.
NC State with great pressure on the.
Hey, you're good, Cat. You're good. Hey, match
NC
up.
State breaks out of that junk look, and they're into man now.
Hey, left hand, Becky. Left hand, Becky.
Looking deep. And that's a heck of a throw. Fighting this little crosswind that we have. Sat perfectly for a receiver just in the back corner of the end zone. Great throw for UVA, and that makes it 6-5. NC State leads. NC State breaks out of that junk look. And see here on the replay, NC State might have broken out of this junk just a second too early. You saw Becky Widmer guarding the one lone cutter who really wasn't covered right as the transition to person defense, and that's what happened. Heck of a throw. She got the disc under and put a nice throw out to space for her receiver.
Jägermonster's complete O-line coming out. Ashley Powell, Becky Widmer, Alex Robbins, Bree Campbell, MC Worthington, Anna Solberg, and Carmen Tormey.
Coach Eric Martin stealing the spotlight just a bit in front of our secondary camera. Short Blady pull ends up rolling backwards, and NC State will start with the disc inside of midfield.
Defender overcommits, and Becky Widmer is open. Dishes back to the break. Again, great pace, great adjustment from this Jaega offense.
That's a very
Ashley
nice
Powell,
dump,
gorgeous
swing,
throw.
and round throw.
Gorgeous throw from Ashley Powell. The Callahan nominee shows the pace, shows the purpose in that drive there. Beautiful throw in the wind.
And you can see the chemistry that this Jaega offensive line is developing with each other. Campbell, Powell, and Widmeyer, the three last players to touch the disc on that point, all playing Phoenix together this past club season. And you can see they're just very familiar with what each other wants to do. Campbell made a hard fake-up line to get that dump back from Sahlberg and didn't hesitate on that nice swing throw to the middle to Powell. And Powell, a casual around throw, perfectly in stride for Becky Widmeyer to haul in for the goal. That's a very nice. 7-5 now the score, so Jaega is pulling for halftime.
NC State sticking with the strategy of flipping over a couple of their offensive players, Carmen Tormey and Bree Campbell. The rest of the D-line being Emma Bartlett, Katnan Salo, Charity Robinette, Rowan James, and Danielle Sawyer. Again, Emma Bartlett and Rowan, Charity leading the charge as Hydra fields this pull.
Center to number 15, Julia Harris. The sideline for number 6, Gianna Torrey, who had that nice flick throw for the goal last point.
Katnan Salo trying to go over the top. Hydra hangs on.
That was a good job of positioning the body by the receiver there. The defender's coming in, and the defender's taller than the receiver, so she knows she has to play it like she's going to go up for it, and then can sort of fade away when the defender goes up to try and make the play at the disc.
Number 6, Gianna Torrey, who had that nice flick throw for the goal last point.
Jaega Monster coming out on offense to take this first half. Full offensive line for Jaega. Trying to go over the top.
After a bit of a rocky start for Hydra, after they went down 5-1, we've really seen them pick up their defensive pressure, and we've started to see their fundamentals get back to where they need to be to put in these sort of more throws possessions.
And David Allison making some crucial adjustments for this Hydra team. You know, seeing what's going on with the Jaega, offensive set and adjusting to it pretty well, trying to force downfield cutters out and put better pressure on the resets for Jaega.
This is a Hydra team that has been the Nationals for 7 straight years, which is really impressive, and it's definitely not something you do without being able to come back in a game in which you're down and be able to make a couple of comebacks.
Jaega again with great pace here, showing a side stack and then flooding away to get the disc to Ashley Powell, who's now upfield in isolation. They dish it to Carmen Tormey. Looking to get it back to Ashley Powell, but she's D'd on the under.
Number 15, Julia Harris.
Harris trying to hurry her players upfield, trying to score the break to tie this one back up.
Powell's had a little bit of trouble this game getting open. It's a nice
Solberg puts away the trash. NC State will have another chance here to put this half away. Alex Robbins starting downfield a little early, clearing space for Carmen Tormey, who makes a nice grab. Dish to Bree Campbell and back off the line to Carmen Tormey. Alex Robbins trying to fight for space downfield. Becky Widmeyer doing the same. Back to Carmen Tormey. They get it inside. And a loft to Alex Robbins, who goes up again, strong two-handed.
That handler D from UVA has been tightening up all game, and they get another one on the goal line.
Ashley Powell likely looking to put Alex Robbins in the end zone, but just shy, and then a turnover.
UVA trying to huck, but it falls short again.
Jaeger showing patience here instead of going with the fast break offense, trying to reset. Bree Campbell fakes back and then throws one deep to the end zone for Alex Robbins, who makes the grab for Jaeger.
Two receivers there. Mary Clark Worthington was coming to follow the play, but Alex Robbins didn't want to let that one go to chance. She wanted to take that goal in for herself.
There's the hustle.
There's the hustle.
Bree Campbell fakes back and then throws one deep to the end zone for Alex
So
Robbins.
that will bring us to halftime. The score is 8-6. Jägermonster over Hydra. The teams will take a short half, and we'll be back in just 5 minutes, so stay with us.
There's
Thank you for joining us back at NC State's Method Road Fields. Sponsors for the evening are Universe Point Cleats, North Carolina Ultimate, IHOP, Discraft, NC State University.
NC State Jaega is going to start on offense. They took half 8-6, and they'll be going downwind. Initiate with Becky Widmayer again.
Alex Robbins with a nice undercut. Ashley Powell trying to go up line, gets it back to the middle of the field.
And Carmen Tormey just roasts to the live side. Beats her defender for the score, and that makes it 9-6 NC State. Quick offensive hold there for Jaega.
Ashley Powell trying to go up line, get this cut here. Looking more like Carmen Torchy. Wide open across the middle of the field there.
Carmen's a nice cut. She came from the far side of the end zone. Makes a grab for the goal. Better spacing, I think, on that point from the NC State handlers.
Really figured it out.
Yeah, Powell has struggled to find space in the resets. At that point, she just took it upon herself to shake her mark free and become wide open for the easy dump throw, and then finds one of her favorite receivers, Carmen Tormey, for the goal.
The aforementioned Ashley Powell making that pull, crossing over to the D-line here.
Blaise Sevier been doing a lot of work downfield for Hydra.
NC State going backhand here. Rowan Janes providing a problem for receiver downfield. She tries to shake her.
Call downfield. Looks like it was involved, so it'll come back to Sevier. Guarded by Rowan Janes. Rowan's probably one of the best matchup defenders on Jaega. I think they use her as a solution to some of the other team's better cutters.
Danielle Sawyer gets a nice heads-up D, hearing the stall count rising from Rowan Janes. Rowan Janes now going deep. Ashley Powell with a big backhand. Rowan Janes adjusting, makes the grab. What a grab from Rowan Janes.
Some body contact on that one, but she managed to hang on through the contact and through the contact with the ground. And now Jaega's red zone offense is going to go to work with Bartlett and Sawyer.
Cannon Salo trying to get open. Ashley Powell wide open. Can't break the mark, does now. And Cannon Salo hauls in the continuation goal from Bartlett, from Powell. Rowan Janes has just been a monster, no pun intended, for them this evening. Really just doing it all, hauling in the difficult things. I think that's her third or fourth goal of this game. Can't break the mark, does
That wasn't her
now.
goal, but she certainly made it happen with that deep catch. And Jaega's red zone offense, you can see there, a lot of space for their three handlers, Powell, Bartlett, and Sawyer. Able to keep the disc moving back and forth, and the downfield defenders, that's a tall task on them to stay on the correct side as the disc moves from side to side. And then Salo eventually finds space on the open side as the defenders had to respect Ashley Powell getting the disc on the far side of the field.
Hydra captains calling a timeout here, trying to recollect themselves, down by the same margin they were when it was 5-1, looking to put together a similar run as they did earlier. Jaeger coach Eric Martin providing some adjustment advice, keeping his team engaged.
It also still says halftime. Can you get rid of that?
Like we mentioned earlier, really important for Jaeger here to finish this game and not let it slip within, more than, 3 or 4 points. They're really in control. The pace of their offense is really, they're clicking now. They've given themselves enough space to work the disc, especially in the red zone. They really have no excuse here, but to put this one away at the same ferocity that they've been doing. So they'll be coming out on D here. Catton and Salo, who just scored that last goal, I believe. Rowan Janes, who made that grab on the huck from Ashley Powell. Emma Bartlett, Charity Robinett, Jen Bradley, Bree Campbell crossing over from the O-line, Danielle Sawyer. So they're going to really look for their faster defenders to really harry the work of Hydra's handlers.
And Hydra finished that first half really well, but these first couple of points, you're really starting to see, I think, perhaps Jaeger's adjustments on offense and defense start to extend that lead again. So we'll see if Jaeger on defense can limit those through-the-middle cuts that UVA loves to run so much, and on offense, if they can keep making space for their handlers.
Jen Bradley with a piece on that around throw. A little confusion on the mark direction.
So that's the adjustment that Jaeger drew up during that timeout. It was a backhand force, but a nice up-the-line grab made by Julia Harris. And another up-line cut. Number 0, Allison Hahn.
Jaeger's D-line right now a little bit on their heels. And they strike again to the open side.
Yeah, I believe that was 3 open side up the line cuts in a row. And I like the idea from Jaeger to go backhand, but they really need to lock down on those up the line cuts because they will just kill a defense.
Jaeger's D-line right now a little bit on their heels. Jaeger Monster standard O-line coming out. Bree Campbell walking to the line, right to left. Alex Robbins to the open. Becky Whitmere, Carmen Tormey, Ashley Powell, MC Worthington, and Anna Solberg. Hydra coaches out in the field trying to make some adjustments, trying to find an answer for this Jaeger offense that really in the second half has been clicking really well. Good pace, good spacing, keeping Hydra on their heels.
For NC State, we'll see what they want to do with their reset systems. I think when they started to bog down in the first half, it was a lot of Bree Campbell as the backfield reset and Ashley Powell initiating from the front of the stack. I think if I'm Jaeger, I want Ashley Powell to be the backfield reset, and I want Campbell being that first under initiator.
Poach defender provides enough of a distraction. Ashley Powell now on the mark. Hydra a little confused. Becky Whitmer giving chase.
Short underneath cuts for Virginia is what has been working and continues to work.
Throw sails high. Becky Whitmer right there just to make sure. Ashley Powell will pick up. Jaeger will go with a deep vertical stack here with Becky out in front. Bree Campbell, nice backfield cut Continuation cut there, just a little late. Becky Widmer there for the inside. Again, their upfield continuation's just coming a little early.
And a hand block there from the mark.
MC Worthington doing well there to flip her body and let her mark go up line to the break side.
And another hand block, number 15. 2 in a row on Ashley Powell. Ashley had Becky Widmer streaking deep, but Julia Harris comes up big again. She'll pick up and initiate to Gianna Torrey, who sends it. Bree Campbell
shows the speed, puts her body in front. Doesn't let the receiver catch up there. She picks up. NC State again with a deep vertical stack.
And I don't like the deep vertical stack against Virginia. I think Virginia is a very fast team just in terms of their foot speed across the board. As we see that late stall hut get blocked by UVA. But UVA is a very fast team on the whole, and I think these long, predictable cuts that Yega's been running are very easy to read, and UVA has been able to tee off on a couple of those and get blocks on the unders.
And UVA playing really great heads-up D. Their sideline echoes calls very well, letting them know when the disc is coming towards them. Ashley Powell there, almost getting a block. Becky Widmer there. Jacob pressuring all over the field. High stall throw. Alex Robbins picks it up and sets a pivot within the end zone. Ashley Powell bombs one deep to Becky Widmer, who looks like she's going to catch it. She does. Carmen Tormey giving chase. Gets the disc. Ashley Powell right there to support.
Yega's not going to be able to score on the fast break, but able to reset the disc well.
Becky Widmer, the same target for that deep throw. A nice under. Powell able to put a nice flat throw out to space for Becky to use her speed and haul that one in.
Well, it was a great fast break offense. All started off by Alex Robbins. She caught her D, and then she threw the around throw to get the offense started. Ashley Powell without the mark in front this time. Able to send the throw she wanted up to the receiver she
right
wanted.
There to support. A good example of confidence and the chemistry they have there. Alex makes a small mistake setting her pivot within the end zone. You know she's going to have one of her fellow Phoenix and Yega teammates there to bail her out, and they do, and they get an easy goal-scoring opportunity.
We do have the same time cap for this game as we had for the men's game.
85 minutes will be the hard cap.
Right now we're at 69 minutes, 47 seconds. So just about 15 minutes to go until we have +1 to the current score, and then that will be our new target.
NC State D-line, Emma Bartlett, Rowan James, Charity Robinette, Catelyn Salo, Carmen Tormey, Danielle Sawyer to pull.
And Krista Parrish was the last member of that line, number 7. So a correction there, since this is the second game in the showcase tonight, we are not going to time cap it. We are going to play it out to 15. The time cap, still the lifted +1, but okay, no hard cap at the end. We are still playing to the 85, excuse me.
NC State putting on good pressure. One defender gets a little turned around. Carmen Tormey's right there to put on the mark.
Nice catch in traffic by Torrey.
Hydra showing some great speed. Errant throw goes right to Emma Bartlett. who circles back and waits for her teammates to set their stack.
Parrish gets the under. No continue available. But Bartlett continues to churn, and she sends a swing across to Sawyer.
Rowan Janes stops the deep cut and tries to make it again. Carmen Tormey, a nice throw, a little mistimed.
She had the space, but Carmen pumped the first time, didn't throw it, and Rowan started to come under. Didn't realize that Carmen wanted to throw the second try. Just wasn't able to catch up.
Hydra to go 70 here. Jaeger defenders forcing cutters out. Small up line leads to another that's bobbled. NC State with another opportunity to break. Danielle Sawyer to pick up. Has a reset.
Nice adjustment by the mark to take away the around throw from Sawyer. She's going to have to send a bailout that is just tipped away. Charity Robinette had a chance to get it on the second effort, but the deflection from the defender. We do have a stall call on the field, however.
Stall called.
Observer confirming it was a stall on Sawyer. Great adjustment by the mark there. Allison Hahn really wrapped around to take the around flick away from Sawyer late in the count. And after that, she was in trouble.
Emma Bartlett playing great D on the up line. And Kat coming straight through. Kat and Salo. Great play. Again, Jaeger with another chance to break. Carmen Tormey around to Danielle Sawyer. Back to Tormey. Upfield to Emma Bartlett. Nice grab. Great fake.
We'll see if Jaeger can make the adjustment now on that trap mark. They do. They get it off.
Jaeger struggling a little bit to clear their four-side lanes fast enough. Nice inside break to Charity Robinette. What could have been an easy score, maybe a little lacking confidence. Carmen Tormey around. Nice inside break. Nice soft inside backhand to Danielle Sawyer from Carmen Tormey. Jaeger Monster breaks. 12-7.
Carmen caught that dump and stepped around for an around backhand. Didn't make the throw, but had a nice little lofty backhand on that to the break side for the goal. They get it off.
And what we see a little bit from both the offensive and defensive side of the disc for Jaeger, or rather their offense and defensive offense. Inside break, they're very comfortable moving the disc around to the break side. That affords them a lot of opportunities, a lot of movement, and a lot of patience from downfield defenders to always defend them. A nice throw here from Carmen. Inside break. Again, the patience, working the disc around the red zone. Great throw.
Jaeger's been very successful tonight when they're able to create those large spaces. You saw Carmen Tormey and Emma Bartlett and Danielle Sawyer on that point, throwing and running off of their throws and creating a lot of space. When they've had to throw the little inside windows and tight spaces because they're too close to their throwers, they haven't been as successful. They've turned it over more often than not because they've not been able to create the space.
Few of the same defenders on from the last line. Danielle Sawyer playing another point. Charity Robinette playing another point. Emma Bartlett and Kat Nansalo. Kat Nansalo playing great D on the under. Emma Bartlett just hassling that dump reset and forcing that turn there.
That's pretty sick defense right there. Able to use her quickness to force the miscommunication between handler and dump cutter. Another hand block from UVA. That's at least 3 they've had on this game. Their adjustment to take away the around throws from Jaeger is really working.
errant throw sails high. Becky Woodmere to pick up. Danielle Sawyer.
Bartlett, push to the open.
Another
A piece on the disc. That was a foul, but Bartlett caught it, so it's a play on.
Danielle, stop standing.
Melissa Gronsky off the back of the stack gets a nice gainer.
Bartlett, push to the open.
And here we see UVA trying to wrap again.
Charity Robinette with a nice setup under.
And that's what really works for UVA's offense, or excuse me, Yega's offense. Those long cuts off the back of the stack, when they're available to their fast receivers, they're gaining 15 to 20 yards on every one of those.
Pick call downfield. Becky using the entire width of the field to try and strike up line to the break side. Charity Robinette with a nice under. Rowan James with another one. They look to reset here, and they're going to get it. Emma Bartlett with a great grab. And Danielle Sawyer looking to haul this one in.
Just tipped away by the defender. But that was a good offensive possession for Yega's D-line. You saw Emma Bartlett get space up line. And if UVA is going to wrap, that's going to be a critical aspect. She's going to need to be able to beat her defender up line to create that space if they aren't going to be able to throw the around dumps.
Rowan James almost gets inside to get the block. Another errant throw, sails high. Melissa Gronsky, great heads-up play. Both sidelines here really doing a good job of echoing, letting their downfield people know when the disc is in the air.
And that's a really nice around break there by Bartlett's Melissa Gronsky. For the goal, just reached under her defender, quick release.
Just really greased it in there. Hydra takes their second timeout.
I believe actually Mitch Dengler indicating that it was NC State's timeout there.
Another errant throw, sails high. Melissa Gronsky, great heads-up play. Both sidelines here really.
Here you'll see Bartlett's being forced backhand, fakes to the inside backhand. The mark's forced to adjust to that side, and then she just releases a sick around flick throw for the goal. And this is about the point we were talking about. It's 13-7, 5 minutes until the hard cap comes on. And Yega is really going to want to put these last 2 points away. In terms of the rankings, winning by doubling up your opponent, I think is probably the best you can do in terms of gaining ranking points. So a 15-7 win could really help out Yega, or at the very least not hurt their standing.
Again, thank you for being with us this evening. If you're re-watching later as someone who showed up and braved the cold, or if you're not with us elsewhere, we appreciate you. We appreciate our sponsors, Triangle Ultimate, Universe Point, Cleats, Discraft, Frisbees, IHOP, Food Lion, and NC State.
And we do need to start thinking about our Universe Point play of the night.
Yes, we do.
Again, we had two great nominees, great layouts from the NC State Night Train game. In the first round, we had Risk Gretch's layout, although I don't think that one was caught on film, and Henry Poe's layout goal. And for this game, we had Alex Robbins' Sky. And if we had another one, Rowan James' catch over the top, perhaps.
Alex Robbins putting on great pressure downfield and a great mark. They're going to go right to Rowan James.
Can she toe the front line? She's
She did
not
not.
in. This is a tough spot for Jaega, especially with that no around pressure put on, and Bartlett steals it away from the defender. Coach Eric Martin on the sideline reassuring us that that was not a tough spot for Jaega to score from. Presumably he designs his offenses to score from the corner of the field.
Alex Robbins putting on great pressure downfield here. Great mark. We'll come back to Rowan James. Right to Rowan James.
Stall. That was a very fast 10 seconds if that was a contest.
Not in. Going right to Danielle Sawyer. Faking. Looking. Two open receivers there. Just a little too much traffic probably. Rowan James to Alex Robbins. And another Jaega break.
A little bit
Foul
of chippiness. No, I think the goal is going to stand, but Bartlett and her defender having some words. I don't think Bartlett appreciated the contact that the defense was giving her. Either way, goal's going to stand. Rowan James around flick to Alex Robbins in that end zone set.
And the story of this margin right now is just the pressure that Jaega is able to put on Alex Robbins from their women downfield and around the reset space. Really doing a good, consistent job here. Able to flip on some members of their O-line.
And it's definitely a good sign to see Jaega being able to make the offensive adjustments to respond to the defensive ones that UVA made. UVA starts to wrap to take away those rounds. On the first goal that was called back on a stall, Rowan James had a nice inside backhand to Emma Bartlett, and another inside backhand that went to Rowan James from, I believe, Danielle Sawyer to set up the assist for the goal. So great adjustments by NC State. A little bit of a back and forth between the coaching staffs here. And NC State is really stepping up to make the plays.
This is what we talked about earlier. Really important for Jaega to finish games here. Looks like they're going to roll with most of their normal D-line. Danielle Sawyer pulling. High OI backhand. Fielded. Tough field.
Campbell, the only woman crossing over from the normal offensive line.
Rowan James shutting down the reset again. Cat in good space to make a block, but just not there in time. Break side backhand. Sails over the head.
That's at least the third one of those we've seen. UVA try to throw those and just put too much on them, and it sails straight over their receivers' heads. They have a lot of success with the close handler movement and those inside flicks through the middle of the field, but that around backhand seems to be a sticking point for their throwers.
Bartlett making a nice grab to the inside. Nice fake. Trying to direct traffic downfield. Sees Bree Campbell upfield, and a streaking Alyssa Gronsky to try and end the game here, and a little too far. A great sequence there. A great sequence there from Jaega's defensive offense.
Come on, Danielle. Hey, go, 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 go.
Bree Campbell trying to get a block.
Sevier sends it long, and I don't think her receiver Tori was ready to catch to make that cut, but she's able to catch up and catch the disc. Great speed.
NC State defenders again putting on great pressure. Another high stall through. High stall throw. Rowan James doing well to defend the upline. Break throw gets around. Emma Bartlett's there.
Very nice physicality from Rowan on the upline cut. Did not allow the offender to get into that space, but they were able to score up through the middle and a nice easy backhand to the break side actually for that goal.
And if you're NC State, you can't be too worried about that defensive offense set there. You get the disc exactly where you want it, in powered position, with your thrower on that line. to a taller receiver. Just goes a little too far. James doing well to defend the up line. His main offensive unit back out on the field. Gets around. And Bartlett Campbell going to play another point here.
Very nice physicality from Rowan on the up line. That cut. You can see on your screen that 7 cut from Torrey. That's where UVA has really gotten a lot of their offense from. They start wide to the open side, make a cut into the open side, but leave themselves a large inside lane so that if the defender is playing tight defense on the outside, they plant hard and come to the inside lane, and they're very good with that inside flick to be able to hit what's called that 7 cut. So we have passed 85 minutes. I don't think it is going to matter because we were playing a game to 15 regardless. NC State to receive the pull, and they will look to close this one out on offense. Side stack with Becky Widmer out in isolation.
Becky Widmer, a juke step in, and an easy as it comes goal.
That was an impressive cut from Becky Widmer. Absolutely left her defender. Quick juke step, her defender took a step in, and she was gone the other way. Becky Widmer out in isolation. Just on the edge of your screen, you can see
a
juke step in, and she is gone the other way.
And an easy,
a former D1 softball player at the University of Delaware. So definitely that athletic background. She's only been playing competitive ultimate for about 2 years. But picking it up very quickly there.
And Hydra with a good showing here. Lots of promise from what looks like a younger team. But NC State, just with the depth and the chemistry, just able to overpower through the second half here. Made some good adjustments, it looked like. Up their intensity, up the pace, and really just ran over that Hydra D line in the second half.
Yeah, a lot of talented young players for UVA Hydra. They're learning the system. I see a lot of names on this roster that are first and second year students. Looks like they're pulling actually from a lot of high schools that are well known for being ultimate frisbee powerhouses: HB Woodlawn, Yorktown, and more. So a good future ahead. A little bit of a rebuilding year perhaps this year for Hydra. But they'll still be relevant in the Atlantic Coast for many, many years to come for sure. Okay, thanks. All right, we are back to present the Universe Point UP Play of the Night. The winner will get a free pair of Universe Point cleats from our sponsor, Universe Point Ultimate. And for this play, we are choosing Rowan James's catch on the huck from Ashley Powell. Went up big with 2 hands, absorbed the body contact, took a hit from the ground, but still managed to catch that deep look, and it would go on to be a goal for Jägermonster. Part of that upwind break that led to this 15-8 victory.
Our honorable mentions again: Alex Robbins starting the game off over 2 defenders with a nice 2-handed sky. In the men's game, we had Henry Poe with a layout past his man to keep the goal alive and score. And then we had Risk Gretsch on the upwind side. Massive layout D, again past his UVA counterpart to make the play.
I don't think we got that one on camera, and it's a real shame that we didn't, because that was a
large layout D.
Thanks also to our observers tonight, Mitch Dangler, Clint McSherry,
Daniel Wong, and Bill Beret.
definitely kept things running smoothly, made the calls when needed in a timely manner. We appreciate them coming out and helping out with the Atlantic Coast Showcase.
Thank you again to all of our sponsors, including Food Lion, IHOP, Discraft, North Carolina Ultimate, Universe Point Cleats, Triangle Ultimate, and NC State University. Thank you for watching with us, and we hope to see you back in action next week, same time, same place.